'cause I'm saved by the, it's alright, 'cause I'm saved by the, it's alright, 'cause I'm saved by the
Stache.
Mustache 34 to Mustache 88 for a double shot of Saved by the Stache.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Saved by the Stache. All right, so this is a very rare Saved by the Stache.
Never before. This has never happened before.
You know, I was watching a movie one time in Portland, Oregon, when I was like 20, and there was this girl, and she was like in this room, and there were two doors beside her. So she's standing, and there's two doorways over each of her shoulders, and she turns the lights on, and there's two guys with mustaches with no clothes on over each of her shoulders.
Oh,
That is what happened in this overtime. Why don't you break it down?
well, look, man, like we've never in the history, in the 3 years that we've been doing this podcast, like crazy, we have never had a double Saved by the Stache. Not
Never
only
a double.
Austin Matthews comes out, he gets it to Nylander, and Nylander rips it past Vasilevsky. The Leafs win it in overtime 2-1. But check this out.
I'm checking.
I just want to say this is what I would call a boss scenario, a boss play. Okay. Like they've been calling Austin. I guess the whole thing is with Austin now, one of his nicknames is Tony. They like to call him Tony. So I'm like,
They don't.
Yeah, they call him Tony.
Like Tony Danza?
Like Tony Danza. Who's the boss? That's what I saw here.
Samantha.
That's what I saw. Hey, Alyssa Milano. We'll get to her later. But
Yeah, you're always going to get to everything later. Everything's coming. We'll get to that later.
It's hard to fit everything in at one time.
We have no Alyssa Milano on our sheet of things to talk about tonight.
No, but we might get to her
there
anyway.
later. Maybe
Look,
when we're
man,
talking about swinging your clock back, we'll talk about Alyssa.
Exactly. So look, we got a double Saved by the Stache here, but I would also like to call this "Who's the Boss?" It's Tony Danza, baby. It's Tony Danza. It's Big Tony. They call him Big Tony. I'm not making that up, Chad. Look, check it out, man.
I thought it was Big Poppy.
Now it's Tony. For some reason, it has changed to Tony. I don't know what exact. Maybe that's a Joe Thornton thing. I'm not sure where the Tony came from, but they are now calling Austin Matthews Tony. So right away, when I hear Tony, I'm like, dude, this is Tony Danza. Who's the boss? Big time.
But he didn't have a mustache.
Are you sure?
Like, I'm positive. I watched Who's the Boss.
He never ever had one. Ever?
Well, he might have had one, but he didn't have one on Who's
Okay,
the
well,
Boss.
it might not have anything to do with the mustache, but either way, when I hear Tony, it's to me, look, like we might have to, Saved by the Stache. Yeah, that's one thing, but if they're going to keep calling him Tony, the Who's the Boss is a whole different thing, a whole new element. I love it. So Tony Danza, I mean, let's get, hey, that's
so Tony Stache number 1 feeds Stache number 2. Does Nylander have a nickname? Are they calling him Mona?
No, it's just Willie Styles still. It's just Willie Styles for him. But anyway, so I love that. So that's our first segment this year of Saved by the Stache, and it is a fucking doozy, man.
Oh, a double Stache.
Stache.
You don't see that too often.
And
you don't see that too often.
Also, a little Who's the Boss? Tony.
Yeah,
hey,
we touched on it. We touched on it.
Mr. Siva.
That's growing pains.
I know, but we haven't said that one time yet this season.
Hey,
Boner.
Mike.
All right, let's close.
Hey there. Dale here. Did you like that video? Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. While you're here, why don't you take a look around at some of our other videos? If you want to listen to the audio version of our podcast, we are available on all podcast platforms. You can check in the description below for links to our website and all our other social media. And if you want to support our podcast, you can do so by going to our Patreon page, and you can find a link to that as well. And if you love a good tip in as much as we do, we are going to be bringing you the best content all season long, only on the Tip In Maple Leafs podcast.
It's alright, 'cause I'm saved by the, it's alright.
Stache.